Hi, y'all. Welcome to the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of Fightbackmedia.com, 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 and Fightbackmediatv.com. Glad you are with us today. I missed. What is today? Today is Tuesday. I did miss yesterday. I really apologize. But I was tired. I did some shorts over the weekend, and hopefully you were able to enjoy those. I just cannot get past two things from the left right now. You probably know one of them because I keep posting about it. I'm not understanding what the left's problem is with Gulf of America. I don't understand. I just don't get it. Other than extreme TDS. Other than that, I don't understand what their problem is. It's a body of water that has been referred to as the Gulf of Mexico for a long, long time. I know, blah, blah, blah. So was Mount McKinley. It was referred to as Mount McKinley for a long, long time. So was Fort Bragg. So was Aunt Jemima. So was Uncle Ben's. All that stuff was referred to as the former for a long, long time. And then for all sorts of reasons, most of them not valid, the left wanted them changed. And at the same time, they wanted statues that had been up for a long, long time moved, changed, destroyed. So what they were trying to do is erase or push to the side a history. Even if part of that history wasn't the prettiest part of American history. Understood, got you. We're trying to erase it, put it aside. Move it. Okay. The Gulf of Mexico is part of history. And maybe there are people who are like, you know what? Based on where the Gulf of Mexico is, maybe it's better that we change that history, move it aside, erase it. Yeah, I mean, there are maps that that are found that refer to that body of water in the Gulf of Mexico that are 500 years old. I got you. So what? Who cares? Frankly, like I said in a video short, it's something I put up on Facebook. It makes a lot of sense based on where that body of water is that it should have always been called. Well, as soon as we start talking about North America and South America, that should have been called the Gulf of the Americas. Seems like that would have been the best idea, right? Or the most reasonable idea. And now Donald Trump signs this executive order, and I told you I think it's kind of comedic. And the reaction to it is also comedic, that it is now the Gulf of America. Okay. And some people on the left are losing their minds about it. I don't get it. Second thing, I want to get to this. Your boy Elon Musk and Doge. I have been, sadly, scrolling through TikTok and looking at people's lives, lives, not their lives, but their live streams, about their feelings about Doge and Elon Musk. The fact of the matter is, the reality, the truth, is that presidents, for time and tradition, have had advisors, groups of advisors that have answered questions for them, provided information for them. So this is not new. Nothing about this is new. Not a single thing about this is new. Except that in this particular instance, we know who these people are. At the end of this video, I am going to post a tweet from my friend Chris Ann Hall, and she's going to show you some of the presidential advisors that we have somehow lived through over the past probably 20 years. Some of you are going to be shocked. Some of you are going to be actually shocked. And some of you are going to be terrified. Absolutely terrified. But it will explain an awful lot. It will explain an awful lot to you. So go ahead and make sure that you watch the entire video to get to that part. It's going to be at the end. It's going to be at the very, very end of the video after I say night-night. Okay. So what Doge is doing is they're not at this point. There isn't any agenda-based things that they're deciding on. They're not deciding on anything. Doge is not deciding anything. What Doge is doing is looking for fraud, waste, and abuse. Well, I guess there's maybe a judgmental side of what one thinks waste is. And I keep bringing this up because it is the most amazing one and the most shocking one that we would pay any money, $20 million, which is less than a rounding error, I understand, but any money at all, a nickel, a dime, a nickel, a penny, towards an Iraqi version of Sesame Street, which doesn't exist. Why are we involved? Why are we involved at all? Why is the American taxpayer forking over any money for the Iraqi Sesame Street? Why is the American taxpayer involved in making sure that foreign journalists write in a gender-neutral format? Why are we involved? Why are we paying money? It's funny, what the left doesn't get, and the Democrats don't get, or don't seem to get, is this: that some of these things are so ridiculous and outrageous, we don't believe that they're really taking place. What we believe is that because it's so insane, there's got to be some more nefarious reasons why these expenditures, especially through USAID, are happening in the first place. It's got to be more nefarious than that. There's got to be some kickbacks somewhere. That money's got to be going to somebody, like the judge who wanted to stop the 90-day freeze on foreign aid. What did we find out? We found out that his wife is involved in an NGO that gets some of that money. All right, folks. Well, now the judge said, oh, never mind. Well, he said never mind after the information came out that, yeah, his wife's involved in an NGO that gets some of that money that got frozen. Potentially affecting her salary. Not necessarily potentially affecting the charity that they were involved in, but her salary that went into his house as well. Really? Seriously? I've said this for years. If you've been watching and following me, I've said this for years. The left cannot help themselves. They cannot help themselves. They've got zero self-control. They can't help themselves. Anything Trump, they must react to. They have this immediate kick of the goad response to anything Trump, no matter what it is. No matter what it is. So when we find out these kind of things, we find out this level of fraud, waste, and abuse, that the average American is like, what the hell? What they can't do, they simply cannot do, is they can't go, yeah, that one's kind of crazy. Yeah, that one's kind of crazy. You can't. They have to fight everything, anything Trump. Even when they know, people like to say they're stupid. They're not stupid. Even when they know that they're on the wrong side of the issue with a lot of the American public. Because I guess, because a lot of people who are in charge of the Democrat Party right now were online activists and get their walking papers and get their information and get their impetus from TikTok videos or TikTok lives or TikTok live streams on what those people are talking about. But the reality is that most adult Americans think that a lot of the stuff that the government has spent money on, that has been noted by Rand Paul in his Festivus publication every year, is ridiculous and outrageous and useless and suspicious. Absolutely suspicious. And I think there are a lot of people who are hoping, maybe even against all hope, that we can start digging through a lot of this and being able to save the American public a lot of money. Whenever Republicans or conservatives or people who are smart start talking about tax cuts, we hear from the media and we hear from other people, who's going to pay for these tax cuts? You don't pay for tax cuts. To people, you don't pay for tax cuts. Well, what they're saying is, where are we going to get that money from? Well, maybe a lot of that money they shouldn't have had in the first place. Does anybody ever say that? A lot of this money that you've been collecting through taxes and the like, maybe it's money that you shouldn't have had in the first place, because you were spending money you shouldn't have been spending in the first place. That seems to be, for me, I don't know about for you, you can write in the comments. For me, that should have been the mentality to start with. Are we spending money that we shouldn't spend? Most households in America have to ask themselves that question. When you have more month than money, the first question has to be, what am I spending that I don't need to spend? How can I make this easier? When we had cable TV, because we don't have cable TV anymore, Every other month, I was calling them and saying, hey, listen, how can we make this bill cheaper? Every other month, I was calling them, how can I make this cheaper? Our cell phone, every other month. I call them and say, you know what? How can I make this cheaper? Are we getting the lowest price? What can I do what do I have to do to make this cheaper? The same way with my car insurance. What do I have to do to make this cheaper? And how much cheaper will it be? Because I'm working, trying to get the income to go up. But if I get the income to go up and don't get the outgo to go down, then I'm still on the hamster wheel, right? Losing on the hamster wheel. That's the picture of the American government. And what the Democrats and the left want to do, they want to keep you on the hamster wheel. They want to ask more of you while not trying to slow the wheel down at all. Make the wheel lighter to move. Not at all. So, we have a situation where young people are starting to figure out, hey, wait a minute. I've done everything they've asked me, they told me I should be doing since middle school. And now, they lent me all that money to get this degree. And now I've gotten this degree. And I'm 23 years old. And I have to have a roommate. I have to have 2 roommates. If I don't want to live with my parents, I have to have 2 roommates. Hell, I should just live at home. Even if my parents don't ask me to pay money, I should just live at home. What the hell? What system was this? We all had that experience. You get your first check. Remember when you got your first real check? And the question was, who the hell is this FICA dude? And why did he take all my money? And then when we found out that FICA dude is taking your money and giving some of it to the Iraqi Sesame Street, yeah, Democrats, you find yourself on the wrong side of all of this. You created Trump. You created Doge. Doge had to happen. And all Doge has done is actually fleshed out the same sort of agency and advocacy that was set up by the Obama administration. The Obama administration did it in a way that they really had no intentions on actually carrying it out. So if you're wondering where that authority came from, it's been there all along. It's been there all along. Anyway, make sure that you watch to the very end, and I'm going to put at the end of this video the number of the names of some presidential advisors, to advisors of the president over the past 12, 16 years. Some of you are going to be surprised. Others of you are going to be terrified by the names you see. All right, till we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody. And for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.